Welcome to Enjoy Fort Wayne. This episode is brought to you by the Waialainai Farmers Market and highlights the 350 vendors that make up the #1 market in the state of Indiana.
Hi, my name is Amy and I am with Simple Nature Candles.
Okay, and how long has Simple Nature been a thing?
Simple Nature started in May 2018. My brother began it then, and then it became his full-time job in November of 2018. So a quick turnaround.
What? So walk us through there.
So he loved making things like just as a hobby. He started making soap, and he made too much for his own use. So he went to the farmer's market and started selling it there, realized that he really enjoyed being at the farmer's market. And then the soap expanded to cleaning products in general and also to candles. And candles is just where it kind of clicked. And he decided to drop the other things and stick with just candles. So by 2019, he was doing just candles. And yeah.
Now, were you involved at the beginning at all?
I was a huge cheerleader in the beginning.
Like, oh, my brother's doing this.
Absolutely.
Like, right?
And I was always volunteering to test out products
Of course.
and give my opinion on things. He came up with his first candle. It was the Explore candle, and I was super impressed, loved it. It's still a favorite candle of mine. But then he was doing farmers markets every Saturday, and sometimes Saturdays are a busy day. So sometimes I would help fill in for him. And I also just loved being at the farmers market. There is just something about being at farmers markets that's just really fun. You get to meet lots of people. You get to talk to some really interesting people. So
Yeah.
it's just enjoyable.
So, okay, let's rewind a little bit. Are you guys from Fort Wayne originally?
We are kind of close by. We both were born in Bluffton,
Okay.
just an hour south of Fort Wayne, and we grew up. We went to like Southern Wells, so it's a really small school, but we were familiar with this area.
Sure.
We mostly have been in this area our whole lives. I went to Purdue for a few years. He went down to Muncie for a few years, but we made our way back up to Fort Wayne, and this is home.
Yeah, awesome. So what is something that you can tell us about doing candles that jumps out at you looking back of like, oh man, I didn't know that it was going to involve this, and now I can see this is 80% of it, or something like that.
So making candles, I would have thought like the vast majority of the work would be making the actual candles. That's only about 20% of like Simple Nature.
Yeah, already I'm like, what?
Derek does a ton of research before he creates the candle to begin with. So there's that, just looking up what is popular in the area and really just like narrowing down to figure out the best scent that is associated with the place. And then there's a ton of other things. Printing the labels and putting those labels on the candles, that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, and if you definitely have to come. Usually I don't make a plug so quickly to come down to the Waialainai Farmers Market, but I am doing it for a reason, because when you come down to the Waialainai Farmers Market and see Simple Nature Candles, you'll see that the labels are all like, what I like is like the uniformity, I guess I would say.
It's very cohesive, and from a distance, it looks very orderly, very organized.
It's aesthetically pleasing, I would say. And then when you actually grab one and see, they're each individual different when you have different, like, for example, can you talk us through a little bit on, is it just Fort Wayne or is it Indiana, the one that you were telling me about before?
The candle I was telling you about before is the Fort Wayne candle. So the picture on the Fort Wayne candle is a picture of the city of Fort Wayne. The front of it has the the buildings that
The
you
landscape.
recognize.
The landscape, yeah,
of
yeah.
Fort Wayne. And then the backside, it has the Martin Luther King Bridge, like Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge. So it's iconic images for the location. So he does a ton of research to get those, like to find the best picture to like come up with for the labels for those. And then, yeah, getting them all those stickers like perfectly pressed on those candles it's a lot of work.
Yeah, no kidding. And you have so many. When you're at the inside market, you take up like the back wall
Yes.
is just like consumed
Yes.
with candles, and like seeing you like take down afterwards, it's like a process, right?
It is a very big process.
So much.
There are 180 scents that we have. So there's a lot to choose from. They used to be organized alphabetically because they were based off of location. So Derek would often ask, where are you going? Where you been? To kind of get a feel for what kind of candle you might be interested in. And we have since updated the way that the candles are organized, and now they're organized by scents first. So if you gravitate towards like a woodier scent, there's a section for that, and then you can look, and they're alphabetical in that woody section. So there's all sorts of different scents, but
Okay.
there's a lot to narrow down.
Yeah. Now, selfishly, I have a question then. Do you ever do, besides Fort Wayne, as it's the city that you kind of live in, do you do other cities, or is it mostly states?
There's a lot of states, but there are also cities as well. New York City is one that comes to mind immediately.
Okay.
It's a more masculine scent. I think it smells like a guy's cologne.
Yeah. I like that. Well, the reason I ask is because a lot of people know I was born around San Francisco, and their football mascot is the 49ers, and their mascot, literally his name is Sourdough Sam, and sourdough bread is a thing there.
Yeah.
So I wondered, could that be a possibility? I'm just asking.
You know what? Derek loves to get suggestions. So he is always saying, if you have an idea for a candle, to hop on the website, simplenature.net, and then you can put in a suggestion. So you need to have the place that you want to suggest, the scent, and most importantly, why.
Oh.
So you obviously have your why. We have a San Francisco candle, but it
So-
is not the smell of sourdough.
No, that's
though.
okay.
It is the smell of patchouli.
Oh.
So,
Well, I will check it out.
okay.
I honestly, I mean, I've checked out probably more than 10, but less than 30
There's
myself.
a lot.
Just,
There's
but
a
like,
lot.
I have not seen a San Francisco. So when I see you next, make sure you stop me and,
Okay.
and show me, because I want to smell that one. Okay, well, maybe I'll say, well, San Francisco's a really, really, really big city. You could,
Yes. We
I
could
don't
come
know.
up with two
that
cents.
was
for
that
San
was just a
Francisco.
thought. I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay, so what is something that, when you think of the Waialae Farmers Market, I know technically, I would assume, and tell me if I'm wrong, I would assume that you didn't necessarily have a say, as your brother was the one that kind of got rolling with the Waialae Farmers Market. But now that you are here with us at the market, what is something that stands out to you that you enjoy about it?
Oh, the people, 100% the people. I love seeing the regular people, like the regulars that come in every single week. They know my name, I know their names. It's just fun to like catch up with people, and it just makes Fort Wayne feel like a little bit smaller. I know Fort Wayne's like a big little city or whatever,
Yeah.
however you say it, but sometimes it feels bigger and like you don't know anybody. You can go into like a grocery store and not see anybody you recognize, but when you go into the farmer's market, you see
It's
lots
impossible,
of
yeah.
people that you recognize, and it's great to catch up and have people say, hey, how's that going? It's just nice.
I will say something funny is that this podcast in particular would have happened a lot sooner, but every time I would try to ask you, you were freaking busy with so many people that I couldn't even come up to you and ask you. I didn't want to bother you while you're making sales. I'm like, I got to catch her. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
But that's really cool.
I love how busy that booth is. I love how busy that corner is because it is just, it's fun to be able to talk to people. And we're not just talking about candles. Like, that is a big conversation, obviously. I'm there to sell candles, but
and they're there to buy one,
but
hopefully.
It is catching up with people, like people asking how my kids are, people giving suggestions for where we should go on vacation, and just like fun things. It's just been really fun to like meet people and connect with them.
No, that's awesome. I know you are always located when it's the inside market, right when you walk in the main door, and the Wow and I booth where you can get a couple shirts or whatever is right there. If you turn right and just head right down, at the end of the wall is a wall of candles. It's awesome. And then in the summer, I know you're kind of also usually in the thick of it because there's music across from you, and that is bar. Mm-hmm. And then you're kind of on the corner.
A little bit,
where Barry is, because Hoppy Gnome is off to the side. And like, so you're kind of like in a really good spot. Like, you're smack dab in the middle of like, man, the meat and potatoes. Like, it's a great spot. So located really, really, really good. So thanks, Ashley. Right.
Yes.
Shout out
great job.
So, okay. Another question that I want to know. We mentioned before this podcast that I was excited to ask a few questions because selfishly for me, I want to know, but I definitely feel like this will be stuff that a lot of people want to know. So can you tell us a little bit of the process? I'm excited. I'm as excited to ask you about this as I was excited talking to honey people. Like, how, like, extracting and doing all this. What can you tell us about physically making the candle, but then also what you also do is you have to come up with, how is this going to smell like not only apples, but like explain Fort Wayne.
Absolutely.
And then go through like as much as you can.
Sure. I will start off by saying, like, there are 3 main values that Simple Nature has, and it is community, it is focusing on a clean product, and it is focusing on clear messaging. So community being, like, we do a ton of outreach in a lot of different ways, and the clean being how the candle is made itself. So we use soy wax candles, and we use soy wax in our candles, and we use essential oils and fragrance oils to scent the candles. The essential oils are in most of the candles, and then the fragrance oils are the things that you can't get from essential oils. So like the smoky smell, like if you wanted something like a cookie, that sweet smell, you can't really get that from an essential oil. So all of the items that we use to make the candles, they are very clean. There's regulations like in the United States, and then there's regulations internationally, and we exceed the international regulations for what can be put in it. So there is a huge list on the website of things that we don't have in the candles. So it's you can use it and know that it is a clean product, that it's not like you're not inhaling bad stuff.
Yeah.
The nice thing about soy wax also is that it is it's a renewable resource. Paraffin wax is made from oil, so we don't use that. We use the soy wax, and it's renewable and it's biodegradable, so it's good for the environment. And then we also have the recycling program that we do. So after you have finished using your candle, you can bring the jar back to us, and we'll give you $1 off the next time. And then we will clean out that candle jar, and then we will reuse it. So we're trying to close that circle there, make it a little bit more eco-friendly. It's already pretty eco-friendly to begin with.
But every little bit helps.
Yeah. So as far as the process of coming up with a candle, like the Fort Wayne candle, it smells like apples for Johnny Appleseed. And then it smells like bourbon because there's a bar on like every corner in this city. And then maple syrup because it's associated with pioneer time. So Derek came up with that idea because he did a ton of research on this area. He probably didn't have to do quite so much research in Fort Wayne,
Right.
but
When you kind of live there.
the concept is applicable to the other candles that he has. He does a ton of research to come up with what that place is known for and what stands out basically in that area. And then he comes up with he oftentimes will look at the city, like the landscape of it, and draw out the city landscape as the image. And then he has very quippy things on the back as a description for it. So
that's really cool. It's just not something that you see every day, right? It's just like, wow, when you get the candle, it's almost like I guess this is probably the idea, but you're getting more than a candle is the idea. Like you're getting a story and a message and like, just something that makes you like, okay, you don't see this every day.
Right. And it feels a little bit personal too. It's oftentimes what people are saying when they are picking up the candles. People from Fort Wayne are giving out Fort Wayne candles as gifts, or, I went to Ireland with my friend, so I'm going to get her that candle as a memory of the time that we were in Ireland together. So it feels like a very personal gift, and it is easy to, most people like candles. It's an easy housewarming gift, things like that.
Yeah. One thing that came to mind that I wanted to ask you about, that it actually just hit me. I remember that you guys went a little viral last year with a very popular, I guess we're showing our age if we're both already laughing at this song, because if you're 20, you maybe not remember this song, but Mambo No. 5.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And can you just, from start to finish, just tell the story? I know enough of it, and we reshared it on the market's like social media, but when we saw it, I remember Travis, our overseeing board member, text me and said, Derek went viral. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I saw it. But okay, so walk us through what happened.
Derek has gone viral a couple of times. But Derek, I don't know, he likes his playlist like we all do, and that Mambo No. 5 just happened to be on it, and he got the idea to put everybody's names, like list the names of the candles on, like, and it was pretty clever. So he handed, like, if you had Monica as a name or whatever it was, like, you got, you could come up over and pick up the name. Well, Lou Bega, like, saw it, and, like, that's a big deal. I don't know.
Yeah, and he, like, reshared it.
Yes.
And, like, and so it went, completely viral. And, like, if you don't remember the song, definitely look up Mambo No. 5, and Lou sings all of these women's names. Right. And so you had all of these women
for each name.
Yeah. So Monica, Rita, whatever, so they could come by and get their.
Yes.
I remember he said, show your ID that your name is actually Rita or whatever. And when I saw him that day, I was like, are you out? And he's like, I think I have like one Rita or something or whatever. But how awesome is that? Like, it's just a funny story. Like,
it is fun.
It really doesn't add. It doesn't really add anything to the show. No, I just really simply wanted.
It was just a funny moment, and then he actually, like, in his playlist, like the Spotify 2023 recap or whatever, it showed like Mambo No. 5 was his top played song for the year. Like,
that's a little ridiculous.
It is a little bit too much, but man, when he commits to something, he really commits.
Yep, that is hilarious. That is just awesome. That kind of tells the story of Simple Nature a little bit, like of what you guys are about, and really cool. Are you excited for like anything future wise as far as different ideas that you're coming up with or anything on the horizon?
I am so excited to start the summer market. I know it's far away still, but I'm excited.
It'll be here quick.
I am excited to be back outside. The indoor market is great too, but
It's just different. It's a different
just
animal.
a different feel.
Traffic wise,
yeah.
I mean, it truly is.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, I was looking at the Facebook page, and normally on accounts where it's a non-for-profit or whatever, like, you just don't get as much traction.
Yeah.
And a lot of posts don't get as many likes. Not that it's all about likes. You can still get engagement and people will see
Right.
it. But I remember there was a post that said, we're only 16, whatever it was, 17 Saturdays away. And it got like
Yeah.
all of these likes and stuff. It got so much engagement because people are deep down like ready for the summer market. And so
Yes.
I completely get it.
Yes.
It's not saying that the winter market is bad.
Right.
It's just a different animal, and we're excited about that animal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's fun to have the other vendors out too that aren't able to go to the winter market, like the flowers and things like more produce and things like that. That's very fun
Yep,
too.
100%. No, 100%. Okay, so are you ready for the last question?
Sure.
I know that you mentioned before that you watched some episodes here and there and whatnot, but did you watch the end
The end of
any of the shows that you saw before? It's okay.
I
Be
I
honest.
don't know what you mean by like I think
Okay,
I did.
if you don't know,
Then I don't know.
then you don't know,
Okay.
which is fine because we prefer it, and the people listening prefer you to not know because
Okay.
we get the genuine you.
Okay.
But the last question I ask is always the same.
Okay.
And so here it is. If the mayor, which this is actually believable since you've gone so viral and you do so much in the community, but if the mayor comes to you and says, I need a message written for the entire city, and I'm going to get Fred Grody to, I like that you know right away what the plane, going
Yes.
across, or I'm going to get a banner that goes over the AEP building, the tallest building in Fort Wayne. The whole 260 area is going to
Yes.
see it. The whole Fort Wayne area is going to see a message. I don't care what it is. You get to craft it. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the question that I ask everybody.
Okay.
So what would the message say? I always love the facial reaction. The facial reactions are always... I'm glad that you... See, this is why I asked if you had seen before. It's because some people have, but most of them haven't seen the very last
one person
question.
answer this, and I didn't really think much of it. But man, now I wish I would have thought of something.
That's all right. I got you.
Like I knew that you were going to ask me if I've been in Fort Wayne before, or like if I've always lived here. I knew that was coming. Oh man. Okay.
You've had enough time to stall.
I can't think now.
Now, there's two ways to go about it. I will tell you from what I've noticed. There's two ways. The first way is to think Simple Nature. And
Right.
if you were strictly advertising for your candles, that's one thing.
No.
The other is maybe more your personal, not Derek, not me.
Yeah.
You're not worried about anyone else. It's for you because you want your kids to be proud of what they see.
Yeah.
This is your message.
I would.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have seen it go.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and say this is from both perspectives because Simple Nature is very community driven. Like we do a ton of things. We donated a bunch of backpacks to Bloomingdale Elementary and
Yep.
donated a lot of money to the lot of different things. So I would say for both Simple Nature and myself, the sign I would want it to say is "Do unto others as you want done unto you." That seems pretty applicable.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. So again, remember this and every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Real quick, give. You mentioned for ideas, simplenature.net.
Yes, sir.
Okay, simplenature.net. And then on social media, is it simply...
It's Simple Nature.
Okay.
Yep, Simple Nature Candles.
Okay.
So,
on Facebook.
on
yeah,
Instagram.
on
We are
Instagram.
not on Facebook.
Just on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I know I've seen some of that viral stuff was on Instagram now that I remember
Yes.
it. So, yep. So Simple Nature Candles, go to simplenature.net if you have an idea
Yes.
for you on maybe let's do San Jose. That's the exact
There
city
we
I
go.
was born.
Okay.
San Francisco's a little bit more well known, but
Okay.
San Jose, but I don't know what San Jose would smell like is the
Would you
issue. I'd
still
have
say
to
that would be sourdough, or would it be something else?
No, it would be something else, and that's the thing. Now, I will say real quick, there is a city near San Jose called Gilroy,
Mm-hmm.
and it is world famous for their garlic festival. So, do you know this?
No, but do you want a candle that smells like garlic?
But as
That
a
is-
joke, I would definitely buy them as a joke. I mean, you have one that doesn't smell like anything.
That is true, but some people like
at
the
least-
ambiance of a candle.
Okay, so
glowing.
maybe I didn't think things through, Amy. All right, will you give me a break? That maybe I would agree that garlic.
Garlic is not what. Don't you usually light a candle so that your house doesn't smell like garlic after you've cooked?
Okay, okay. Yes, that is correct. You
Okay.
are right. Like, oh, light a candle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Well, if you have too much garlic in your life, you can go to the farmer's market and pick up a Simple Nature candle.
Yes.
If you have an idea better than garlic, you can go to simplenature.net. How you like that? I closed that pretty well.
Perfect. That was
I mean,
well done.
I am a professional. So, again, thank you, Amy, and we will catch you at the farmer's market.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Coraggio Media. The show is edited by me and sponsored by the Weil and I Farmers Market. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest updates. We will see you next week, where we will be sure to show you how you can enjoy Fort Wayne.